So let me ask you this, because you grew up in East Oakland, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where do you think your mindset came from as far as, I got to keep going, I have to turn this negative into a positive?
My parents and how I was brought up, and then just, I'm one of them kind of people, I don't hold anger long. Like, me and my wife could have an argument, and I'll be touching her booty like 30 seconds later. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm one of them kind of people, I don't want to live there. I'll visit anger, I'll visit being upset, but I don't want to live there. So that just come from my upbringing. A lot of stuff I've been through that I've been realizing, a lot of stuff I went through with my parents and like child custody and just little things growing up that I had to like kind of compartmentalize because I was the oldest of the 3 siblings, and like I needed to watch for them just made me like stronger, but I didn't realize that's what it was doing. I was just processing like, okay, if I'm gonna be mad, then I'm gonna stay mad, but I notice when I'm smiling, it's much better for me, so I'm just gonna do that way, figure out a way to smile, and that's just, I don't know how I live my life. Like, we ain't talking about who off camera, but Chuck can attest to that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't live in negative. It's no fun there.
Right.
It's no fun. It's always something you could think of positive to get out of what you need.
So say that again, that was a bar.
It's always a way to, I don't know what I just said.
You said it's always something positive.
Positive. Basically just be positive. I just live with positivity, bro. I don't have time to be negative.
Welcome back to another episode of the Big Dog Talk Podcast. It's me, the one and only Big Charles in the building, baby. The crowd goes crazy. Listen, man, I'm excited today. Y'all know Big Charles, man. I made it my responsibility to shine some light on Oakland and the Bay Area. And I have an Oakland native.
Yes, sir.
Originally from East Oakland.
Mm-hmm.
Now this guy, he's a child of Yahweh, a proud husband, a proud father, a hard worker, hustler. Alphonso Tucky Blunt.
That would be me. Thanks for having me, bro.
Right?
Appreciate it.
Now, before we get into you, I want to just thank you for reaching out to me.
No problem.
And the way we connected, I use like when you and I were talking on the phone, I said I usually don't even do business like this.
Right.
I was like, because you get so much BS through social media.
Yes.
But I don't know, man. I guess I was like led to at least check you out, and I don't ever want to think I'm too high to look at DMs. You know what I mean? Then I read your resume, and I was like, this brother is inspiring.
I appreciate it.
And I believe, especially what's going on right now in Oakland and across the Bay Area, specifically in Oakland, though,
Yes, sir.
I think it's important to shine the light on some good.
Right.
And when I read your bio, I was like, this brother has a story that's familiar but unfamiliar.
Right.
Like, as far as your trials and tribulations, it's very familiar, but how you turned it into basically prosperity.
Yes, sir.
It's unfamiliar. Usually what we do in our situations, we become the victim of our stories.
Right.
And it sounds like you are not a victim of your situation. But before we get into that, tell us about yourself, man. Introduce yourself.
Oh man, again, thank you for having me. I appreciate what you do. Like you said, I just reached out to you because I seen some of the people you interviewed I knew, and once I did my research on the pod, I was like, I want to go on there. So I just did what I normally do, send my bio. Same way I got to Sway and to 85 South, same thing. I just reached out. Somebody read it and looked back and was like, damn, let's get them on here. So I appreciate you taking time to share your platform with me. But as you said, I'm Tucky Blunt. My name is Alfonso, but came out the womb, I was called Tucky. If you grew up with me, you know me as Tucky. But if you went to school with me, you call me Fonzo. My real last name is Blunt. My kids are Blunts. I got a grandson that's a Blunt. So no, real last name is Blunt. But I've been selling weed in Oakland since I was 16.
Wait now. Wait.
What? I can't say that.
Selling weed in Oakland now.
Yeah.
You on camera?
Yeah.
No, I'm just joking
okay.
with you, man.
Wait a minute, I can't say that. But no, I've been selling weed in Oakland since I was 16. But I also detail cars through parties. I was just all around hustling.
Mm-hmm.
My parents was hustlers, but they always worked.
Mm-hmm.
So I was able to watch and see how you could able to work and hustle and, kind of try to avoid jail. Around 16 is when I decided, I'm like, all right, I want to sell weed. I know I can sell it, but I got to figure out a way to sell it without going to jail.
But selling weed at 16 back in the day was illegal though.
It definitely was illegal.
Oh, okay. That's what you're saying, basically.
Okay,
Just want to make sure.
For me, I looked at selling weed as a business, and I never really understood why it was illegal. I'm the DARE era, so I'm 44, so I know about DARE and how they was against drugs and all that, but weed was never considered a drug in my household. My grandparents smoked, grew weed. Like I said, my parents sold weed. So it was like weed was just something that people in our family did. We knew about coke, dope, and all that. Both my parents had been on drugs at a point in time in their life, so we knew about that, but weed wasn't that. So I'm like, if I'm gonna sell weed, I gotta figure out a way to not go to jail doing it.
But here's the thing, though. I'm sorry to cut you off.
Ahead.
And don't forget that.
I won't.
But it's funny that you said that you were selling weed and you can tell that you can turn it into a business.
Mm-hmm.
That's how we start in the community. That's what hustling is about in the community. We don't do it because we look at it as something bad.
Right.
We look at it as a means of funds.
Yes.
You know, so hearing you say that, and it's funny because growing up in the hood, my education came from the hustlers in the street.
Right.
All of the dope boys in the street, everybody in the hood that was on the corner. The way I learned how to move, and do business came from the hustlers. I'm sorry to get.
No, you good. Because that's the same thing with me. I grew up under a lot of game, but I also grew up under people that they knew certain kids were going to gravitate toward the streets, but they knew certain ones wasn't. I was one of the ones that wasn't.
Right on.
I just didn't. My whole thing was, I don't want to not be free. So if I'm going to do something that's illegal, I got to figure out the best way to do it. So I've been working since I was 13. So just keep that in mind, right? Got my first job when I was 13 through the YEP program that's still in Oakland right now. Shout out the YEP program. And I got my first check, went to a place called Brown's Brothers in Alameda. They're closed now, shoe store, and bought my first pair of shoes on my own. At that moment, I knew, I was like, well, I got a few friends that was already selling drugs. Then I'm like, I don't have to sell drugs to make money. All right, I'd rather work. So I continued to work. That's led to where I was at 16. I'm smoking a gang of weed then. I knew I could sell it just by people around me. Hey, you always got good weed. Can we buy some? All right, whatever. I sold, I think, 3 pounds in 2 weeks at my job, all coworkers. I said, that's a wrap. I can just sell weed at work. I'll never have to be on the streets.
Right on.
Every job I ever worked at, I'd go to work, to learn the stuff, to enhance my resume. I type like 90 words a minute now currently. I'm a nerd, 4.0 student, graduated, high school honors, all of that. But I'm in the streets, like known in the streets for doing good business.
Right.
So I just applied that like, dude, if you at work and you selling all your products, I'm throwing parties. I'm detailing your car. I'm detailing your car on Monday. I'm inviting you to a party on Tuesday. I'm selling you weed on Wednesday. I made insurance cards back then, so I'm selling you insurance cards, all at work. So if I got 5 revenue streams coming from people that I know are guaranteed paid, I'll never be broke. Every person that I worked with was a bill. All right, you paying this one, you paying this one. And I just took that motto and just kept going with it. And then fast forward, I ended up getting snitched on for selling weed, went to jail, bailed out, whatever. Kept selling weed, didn't think nothing of it. And then maybe like 15, 16 years later, heard about the equity program and ended up being the first person that went to jail for selling weed to have a legal dispensary 13 blocks from where I got arrested.
So you have a dispensary?
I did. I closed it in March, but I did.
Mm-hmm. And what was the name of it?
Blunts and More.
Blunts and More.
Mm-hmm.
And you said you started off hustling.
Mm-hmm.
Was it a friend that snitched on you?
It actually was one of the people I was buying my weed from.
Okay.
Me, I used to go to the gun range because when I got snitched on, this was 2005. I was in the process of trying to get hired for Alameda County to be a probation officer. Mm-hmm. So me and him would go practice shooting guns, legal gun, everything, but we would do our transactions at the gun range. Mm-hmm. Getting each other, getting his car right up and do our thing. Bam. This particular day, I'll never forget it. He dropped me off. I was going to one of my cars. I had a little bucket. I had a clean old school. So I was going to my old school to get my charger out the car. Because I didn't. So when every car got to have a charger from this day forward. So I go to get the charger. I see the police come up the block. Whatever. I'm not tripping. I ain't got nothing on me. They ain't looking for me. Because I don't sell weed on the streets. Mm-hmm. They pull up, say, we heard a white over gold LTD got a gun and weed. And I'm like, I don't know who the fuck. I don't know who told you that. And the two cops who was crazy, because I work with both of them now, Ursi Joyner. I don't know if you heard about the cop that got shot in West Oakland. They tried to rob him and he ended up killing two of the people at the gas station.
I didn't hear that.
You know about it. So Ursi was one of my arresting officers, and it's another officer named Randy Wingate. Both of them arrested me in 05, and then I end up, messing around and meeting them in the legal space once I got my store in 08. But yeah, I got snitched on by somebody I know, somebody that I, grew up with, that I made a lot of money with. I guess because he just wanted my clients. I don't know. But it's like, bro, we could have just worked together. You had to put me in jail. And the day he snitched on me was a Thursday. I started working for Alameda County that Monday, and he knew that. So while I'm going downtown and taking me to jail, I'm like, hey, officers, I'm like, man, this is a mistake. I don't know what y'all talking about. I got $80 worth of weed on me. I'm going to jail for that. They gave me like $50,000 bail, 4-way search clause. My first offense, I ain't never been arrested. And I start work Monday. I'm at work Monday, right down the street from here on 400 Broadway, coming down from the probation stairs. There's a cop walking upstairs. It's the cop who arrested me. I say, hey, Mr. Wingate, Officer Wingate, I told you I had a job. He like, oh, man, Mr. Blunt, you weren't lying. So it's like, I just never let it stop me. I went to jail and just got back to it.
So let me ask you this, because you grew up in East Oakland, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where do you think your mindset came from as far as, I got to keep going, I have to turn this negative into a positive?
My parents and how I was brought up, and then just, I'm one of them kind of people, I don't hold anger long. Like, me and my wife could have an argument, and I'll be touching her booty like 30 seconds later. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm one of them kind of people, I don't want to live there. I'll visit anger, I'll visit being upset, but I don't want to live there. So that just come from my upbringing. A lot of stuff I've been through that I've been realizing, a lot of stuff I went through with my parents and the like child custody and just little things growing up that I had to like kind of compartmentalize because I was the oldest of the 3 siblings, and like I needed to watch for them, just made me like stronger, but I didn't realize that's what it was doing. I was just processing like, okay, if I'm gonna be mad, then I'm gonna stay mad. But I notice when I'm smiling, it's much better for me. So I'm just gonna do that way, figure out a way to smile. And that's just, I don't know how I live my life. Like, we ain't talking about who off camera, but Chuck can attest to that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't live in negative. It's no fun there.
Right.
It's no fun. It's always something you could think of positive to get out of what you in.
So say that again. That was a bar.
It's always a way to, I don't know what I just said.
You said it's always something positive.
Positive. Basically just be positive. I just live with positivity, bro. I don't have time to be negative.
Did you adapt that mindset, or did you automatically?
I think just over the years, it just became, I mean, don't get me wrong, I've done stupid shit as a youngster, you know what I'm saying? I've had bad ways I was sneaky, you know what I mean? But it's different. Like, my kid's sneaky and my sneaky is 2 different things. They get caught doing everything. They don't know how to be sneaky.
So they dumb.
Because of these. You know what I'm saying? We, like, our parents, I'd be gone from the time sunlight was out until the street lights came on, and my mama had no clue where I was the whole day.
Mm.
We out, we on the bikes, but we wasn't doing nothing. I wasn't into stealing, I wasn't into robbing. I just like to sell weed. I really appreciate how weed connects people. So I really just enjoy doing that. And I knew that was for me. And that's kind of like how I preach when I talk to kids. I tell them, if I can reach one of y'all out of 10, I'm fine with that. Because it was so many, the other 9 people that could have, that went that way, that went to jail, that people I know that died. I went to my first funeral at like 8, 9 years old from somebody dying in the streets.
Right.
I didn't want to be that. So I'm like, all right, let me figure out. I'm going to always work, keep a square. You got to keep a job, your 9 to 5, plus it teaches you things. But if I can sell you everything I'm working on while working with you, and it's guaranteed money, I ain't got to worry about you telling on me, because you can get yourself in trouble. And it's guaranteed money. Unless you want credit, oh, this is great. I get double up. Oh, yeah, I love selling my products at work. It was the best thing to do. Those are guaranteed customers. And if you got good customer service, they're going to come back.
I heard you say earlier that the guy that told on you,
Mm-hmm.
you had the mindset of, you didn't have to do that.
Yeah.
We could have just worked together.
Uh-huh.
So I'm hearing the greed from the other person of your success.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, is it possible that we touch on the fact that there's no need for the envy part?
Not at all.
Where do you think that part stems from?
Us not liking us, meaning black people. We jealous of each other. Ever since I was a kid, I'm a work together type person. And then in my older life, getting older now, I'm really just on some, like, I've had friends that I grew up with, that we went separate ways. No argument, no fussing, no fighting. We just went our separate ways because we're on different mindsets. And I don't think that I'm better than you or better or not, but I want to be around people that are making more money than me, that are hustling harder than me, because that's gonna motivate me to do more. If we all in the same clump, I've had people that probably went away from me because I wasn't doing the right, not right, but just I wasn't on their level. That's where I'm at with trying to do things, and it's a mindset I need more of us to have because we can work together and eat. You know what I mean? We can work together and make money, but a lot of us are programmed to not mess with each other and to be jealous of each other. And now it's gotten so bad to where like random. You don't go out, but I do. When you're in clubs now, I come from the era where you used to could dance in clubs. They don't even have dance floors no more. Clubs are now set up for us to buy bottles and look at each other and floss. That is some deep, weird Negro thing to do. It's just making you not like each other. Why? Are we jealous? No, I like to see you out there kicking it, you having your fun, you spending your money, but that's not what it's for, and we got to get out of that.
So when you say us, are you talking about here specifically in Oakland, or are you talking about just the African-American culture period?
Culture. Like I learned bottle wars in Atlanta. I didn't know about bottle wars until I went to Atlanta. I thought it was a joke. I'm like, they're really just having bottle wars? Like they would, yeah. But no, it's everywhere. But there's little clusters of people like me, like you, who are networking and trying to get a bigger network of more people like us to show that we can work together. Like I love working with people that look like me.
Right. Right on.
I try to do that first, like from stuff around the house, from who I deal with with my cars and my bikes, and just who I deal with, who make my clothes. Like I really try to mess with my people, and it's not coming from a place of want something in return. I just think we're just supposed to work together.
Right.
That's it.
Let's get into Oakland, though. Let's get more specific about what's going on in Oakland, though. Because I love to shine light on Oakland.
Yes.
I live by this motto. Whatever you focus on, it tends to grow. Mm-hmm. So if you focus on the negative, it's going to grow.
You living there.
If you focus on the positive, it's going to grow.
Yes.
How do you feel about everything that's going on in Oakland and how when you look on social media, everything is all the negatives that is going on in Oakland? Do you not think that hurts businesses and hurt the city and hurt the communities if we just keep showing everything that's negative? Like for instance, this morning I woke up and it actually put me in a bad place. I did my routine, and as soon as I open my phone, I see I don't want to say the name, but I see just some news about Oakland. And it was just a robbery here, or somebody breaking in the car here, or some shootings over here. Do you think that is a smart way or an intelligent way of representing the city of Oakland and what Oakland is truly about?
No, I mean, it's just like with anything, negativity gonna sell. So that's gonna get the clicks, that's gonna get the likes. It just depends on what you're about. You know what I mean? And that's why when we talking about the dude I told you about I wanted to connect you with, we not on that. I am from 80th and Holly. Where I'm from, when I got arrested, it was immaculate over there. My grandfather used to keep all the birds of paradise and everything. Oakland it had this, but 80th right now is a shithole. Like, I hate the way my city look. I hate the way we're being represented. But people want to blame the one lady that's in office. It's not her fault. This was long before her. Long before her. People stopped caring about Oakland. My thing is, you got to be about the solutions and how to fix it. One of the main things that's wrong with Oakland is there's nothing for these kids to do.
You said people stop caring about Oakland?
Yeah.
Why do you think people stop caring about Oakland, though?
I have no idea. Because I care about Oakland, and I don't even live here no more. Like, I grew up fighting for stuff like the Malibu Castle. I don't know if you're familiar with it, but it was like an arcade right by the Coliseum. In 95 or 96, they closed it to make parking for the Raiders, the football team. I was in high school trying to fight that because we used to go to Malibu every Thursday, $5 Thursdays, and play games for $5 all night. You know what I mean? So it was just those type of things we had. A lot of these, there's things that are around like Kingmakers. There's other things, EOYDCs around, YEPs around. There's things around for kids, but not like it used to be. That I think it has a lot to do with the voting too, and how they take away money from our areas, and it's not going into what we think it should go into. It's going to other stuff, but there's nothing for these kids to do. So they just running around playing basically living Grand Theft Auto. You got parents that are bad parents. I get that, this, that, and the other, but parents can only parent so much. If the kid has nothing to do and this is all they see and this is all that they hyping, it's a vicious cycle. We living in the negative. Like there's so much good that's going on in Oakland, but you don't hear about it unless one of us is like telling it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And it sucks because Oakland has an airport, right? A big airport. Nothing is open over there. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, rightfully so, though. There was a lot of crime over there, though,
But
right?
that's what I'm saying. How are you not there as police, as whoever strategically set up to where you know where the crime is at and y'all just not going? Like, now do the police not care? That's a whole nother podcast for a whole nother day. But somebody that's from here that's got 5 generations, and my daddy and my mama still live in Oakland right now, still own houses in Oakland right now. And they want to move. Like my mom want to put a fence up. Like it shouldn't be like that for people that's been here. That's just like this is, and it's in our hoods. Like when I was younger, nothing against the West, 'cause I love the West. When I was younger, you could tell the difference between West Oakland and East Oakland, and I mean that with wholehearted respect. And if you on here from Oakland, you know what I mean. East Oakland looks worse than West Oakland has ever looked. And that bothers me because I'm from the East. You know what I mean? It's just like, and I'm doing my part behind the scenes, working with people, doing cleanups, trying to help. But it's just like, we need more than that. We need, we need stuff for these kids to do. We need to pay these kids to come out there and help clean up. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know what I do know what need to be done, but it's a lot that's not being done that need to be done. And it starts with the kids. Once you 25, 30, you already in that mind. So we need to get these kids, they're like 8, 9, swoop them up. By the time they're 16, to me, it's too late. They're already in their ways. That's when I started selling weed. When nobody gonna tell me nothing? Get to these kids 7, 8, 9, get them in something, and it don't have to be sports. Teach these kids some tech. Just I teach them some cannabis.
So you're saying the resources aren't there?
The resources are around, but they're not highlighting the resources. So don't nobody know about them. It's only a chosen few. And it shouldn't be like that. It's like the news, even with positive stuff, the news, you know what news is? It starts with the end. It's negative. They don't want to tell you nothing that's positive. Like I have so much good stuff going on in my store. I had to beg the people to come. But if I had a robbery, they blowing my phone up. Tucky, can we get a story? Can we get a story? No, I don't want to talk about that. But that's what news and social media and kind of like life has turned to. That's why I just gear myself toward positive.
So what do you think a few of the major solutions that need to be brought to Oakland in order to revive it?
Pay these kids to work. We need potholes that need to be fixed. The city won't go fix the potholes. Teach these youngsters how to fix potholes. Pay them to do it. They only stealing because they ain't got no money. Their parents can't help them, whatever, so they don't know no better. But if you, 1 out of 10 kids, if you can get one to pick up the teach them trades. Like they don't even do like home ec and stuff no more in schools, really.
That's across the world.
Like, and that's crazy. It's like they're trying to not learn how to use your hands and stuff. Like, I don't know. It's just, it's get these kids some skills, and I think it'll be a whole lot better. Yeah. Can I pause? This is my worker coming to the house. Is there a way to pause?
Oh, let's see. Yeah, it's just fine.
Okay,
Go ahead,
give me
go ahead.
like 30 seconds. I was gonna let him in the house.
You remember the time?
Hello? All right. Yeah.
You got some pointers, Chuck? You got some pointers when you're listening? Okay. Man, you the first one on the podcast. First one on the podcast.
Yeah, later. From my old house.
Yeah.
Montdale. Yep.
All right. Because it's going in a direction I wasn't expecting it to go.
No, we done been there before though.
Well,
Yeah. Okay. All right. Sorry about that, y'all. Sorry. All right, cool. You got the time? Cool. All right.
so look, growing up in East Oakland,
Mm-hmm.
you started selling weed at 16,
Mm-hmm.
right? You had peers that went in the opposite direction.
Mm-hmm.
But if I was a youngster, right,
Mm-hmm.
a 2024 youngster, in my mind, you're doing the same thing that I'm doing right now. You know what I mean? So what's the difference of mindsets of your mindset then and their mindset now? Because you was hustling, you was selling weed because you saw a business opportunity. It was as a means of income.
Yes.
These youngsters now, they're speaking for them. They're doing what they know how to do out of survival.
Right.
So how do we change that perspective? How do we change that mindset?
To show them that people that look like them can do something else. Like they're doing that because they don't know nothing else. Now, granted, some of them do know other stuff. You know, some of them have great parents and they're choosing to do things. You know what I'm saying? Like I got 5 kids. 2 of them could be doing better. You understand what I'm saying? You know what I mean? So that just because sometimes you want to blame the parents. No, I know people that got great parents and their kids are just goons.
But you got to understand though. Now I'm hearing you. But your environment have a lot to do with molding who you are as well. You have your parents. You have when you go out, step outside the door, when you go to school, and to agree with you, and you have lack of resources. Listen, if my father was there, I lived in a drug-infested neighborhood. I mean, my father was a preacher. I still thought about selling dope. I still almost sold dope. You know what I mean? Because honestly, my dad was a big role model in my life, but it's still my surroundings was still huge. My homeboys were all into it. I go outside, my uncles, everybody doing it. I go to school, everybody doing it. You know what I mean? So I guess I'm asking, do you think the environment of Oakland is set up for success right now?
It's pockets of it because I'm not gonna, like I said, I'm not gonna live in the negative. There's some good stuff and good programs and good things going on that I just don't think these youngsters know about. And that's why I'm saying get to them early. It might be too late for some.
But why don't they know about it though?
I don't know, bro. Like I find people that still don't know about YEP. And they've been around, like I said, I got my first job there in 93.
What's YEP, like a youth?
Yep, Youth Employment Partnership, right on 23rd and East 14. Been there, well, they used to be on Fruitvale, but then now they're on 23rd East 14. And they give youth jobs, summer jobs. They pay you. They'll pay the person. Like if you need an intern here, they'll pay the intern to come here, do the work, all the stuff, like free labor. I mean, not like that, but I mean, and it's teaching them a skill. But it's programs like that a lot of kids don't know about. And like I said, they just got to see people doing it. And you're not going to get all of them. If you hold that 1 of 10 strategy, it's going to work. If you just comfortable with just getting one and just honing in on that one and showing them that you can do this, like you don't have to bip to make money, you know what I'm saying? Then you also got to get these kids to understand that doing good, or what we perceive as doing good, sometimes takes longer for you to see the progress and see the work.
Delayed gratification. When
you doing it the quick way, to rob, to steal, to whatever, you got that quick gratification. You think you winning, but that karma gonna double back around tenfold. It's gonna take a little more time to do the slower way, or the nerd way, or the non-street way, and that's okay. It's gonna teach you something while you doing that. The fear of me going to jail is why I moved how I moved. I don't believe. I don't want nobody to tell me when to eat, sleep, shit, get up, walk, go outside. So I don't want to do nothing that's going to put myself in that position. Yes, I sold weed illegally, but in my mind, I figured out the best way for me to do it illegally if I was going to do it. And I've told youngsters this. I went and talked at high schools and told them this. Y'all going to do what y'all going to do, right? But if you're going to do something, whatever it is you sell, it could be cookies, whatever you choose to sell. I mean, like regular, normal cookies, not weed cookies. Whatever you choose to sell, if you have a job, you have a guaranteed place to sell it at. You have testers. You have people that can give you right on time information about how you're doing with your product and your sales. But you just got to think like that. You know what I'm saying? They're thinking that this is the only thing I can do. This is all I can do to make money. No, it's not, young.
And you giving these tips off of experience. Not only did you have your own what is it, weed
cannabis club,
but you're also a man of many coats. You have a lot of jobs. So you are a what do they call it, a business Jack of all, you do it all.
Everything.
You know
Serial
what I mean?
entrepreneur.
Serial entrepreneur. That's what I was looking for.
I tell my daddy, he finally said it after about 5 years ago. He was like, Tucky, I got to give it to you, because he come from the era of work, retire, die. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, Dad, I won't work. I'll do that, but I only work as a means to just get health benefits and learn, the craft of what it is. I don't work for child support. I don't work for the public health. I don't work for the welfare office. Like, I don't work for the city of Oakland, so I don't mind getting a job. But while I'm at work, I'm finna get rich. I would always make more money at work than I made at work.
I mean, at the end of the day, in order to become wealthy, your 9 to 5 is the first place of funding your wealth.
Yes.
You know what I mean? You may not want to be there forever, but so this was always my strategy.
Crazy.
I had a 2-year strategy to stay at every job I went to. I would work out on a job for 2 years. I would have a goal. I would have a vision. And like, you know what? It may wind up going 2 or 3 years. But when I save this amount of money, when I get to this role, or when I do this, okay, it's time for me to move to the next one, because that next one's going to get me closer to the end goal. You know what I mean? I just never had the mindset of stand on one job, retiring there, and just die. You know what I mean? And dying off. You know what I mean? But
some people do.
Whatever works. But backtracking, you said that the kids need to see more of positive role models, working together, collabing. Do you think it's enough of that? Is that really something that's being displayed here?
What's crazy is it is, but again, it's not getting the publicity it's supposed to get because it's not negative. So we gotta trick the algorithms. And that's just with not just the social media, it's just with how we promote what we promote. Like in this building, and in the other one stop, the California Ballroom, Fab, Kariga, they're doing their men's wellness and so there's things going on where we're all meeting, especially with nothing against our sisters, but for me being a Black man, there's a lot going on for Black men and boys right here in Oakland that I know for a fact people don't know about. Not enough people.
Not enough.
So what I'm like, I try to use whatever voice I can. When I find out about something, all y'all need to know about this. You know what I mean? And it's a lot of it, but we just don't know about it. So we just got to figure out how to, and it's like it's purposely being blocked. You know what I'm saying? We're being shadow banned all over the internet. Like, I get shadow banned like crazy. My last name gets me shadow banned. Like, somebody from Meta called me because I finally did a thing like, y'all need to call me. They called me and they were telling me about reels and stuff. And I'm like, but she's like, yeah, you're doing everything that you're supposed to do. I said, it's my last name. Like, I had a post, me, my dad, and my brother, all names start with A. So I put on a post, I'm in front of my daddy's house, me and my brother, we on our bikes. It says A Blunt times 3. They flagged me for that.
I mean,
they said for cannabis sales. But I'm like, dude, that's my last name. I'm verified. Y'all know it's my last name. You seen my ID and my passport. How is that banning me?
I know, but listen though.
My God.
A Blunt times 3 does sound pretty. It sounds catchy though.
But it's crazy because it's really us. Like, it's really 3 blunts. Like, I don't know what to tell y'all.
You know what I mean?
Crazy. But yeah, no, I think if more of the youth, if we can get that 1 to 10 or that 1 to 5 strategy, whatever numbers you want to use, if we can get more of these youth to see more of us doing things and we're showing them, we got to go back and show the kids. They don't know. And we got to show them that you can do this. Like, that's one of the reasons I like doing pods, so people can see I look like y'all. When I went to jail, I had dreads down to here, gold teeth, 23-inch rims. Like, we did all that. Like, I'm one of y'all. You understand what I'm saying? But I knew the value of a 9 to 5 as opposed to stealing, robbing, shooting, killing. Like, I can go anywhere. Dolo. Like, I'm covered in the blood. Like, I don't
talk that talk.
You know what I'm saying? Like, if you don't like me, that's just your fault.
Talk that.
So I don't live there.
Right.
So I go wherever I want. Now, I'm not just finna go to certain stuff that, that's sketchy. No, I'm not gonna do that.
Right, that's wisdom.
But exactly. And I'm just gonna do what I do. But like I said, I'm living stuff currently. I have kids that ain't the best, but then I got kids that's at Howard. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you do what you gotta do. You live and learn. You try to teach. As long as you know that you know your kids, know everything that you done put in them. Like, when all your friends come back and be like, man, we heard such and such about such and such. I can't believe that. He's too well mannered. You know you did your job. You know what I'm saying? So it's not just it's a collective tribe. We deal with mental health. I think that's something else that needs to be addressed, which it is being, but a lot of these kids and parents need to understand that there is mental health issues with these youngsters. Right now, I'm dealing with that within my house too. My baby daughter, we didn't know that she was even having mental health issues. We know now. We open though. When I say our kids can talk to us, like sometimes they tell us too much. Like we them kind of parents. So
Right
if
on.
you having issues and you ain't telling us, like how can we help you? So it's that too, because they're in this. As soon as you search one thing, it's gonna send you down
Everything.
the rabbit hole of the bullshit. So if you're thinking about suicide and type that in, that's all you're gonna see. So now this is running you. Nothing I'm telling you, your mama telling you, your sister telling you is gonna help you, because this is running you now.
Social
And everything
media.
you see is on that.
Phone.
All the friends it brings up, so it's a lot. Like we have down phone time in the house. You know what I'm saying? Just little things you got to do that you're learning, because our parents didn't know. Like mental health to them didn't exist. My
Right.
mom's still dealing with mental health now and don't even know it.
Right.
Like, mama, you still mad at stuff from 1982?
Right.
Come on. How?
Right.
Let it go. But she don't know.
But it's so embedded in us, though.
It's in it. And she couldn't teach us nothing about mental health because she didn't know. I've watched my grandmama cuss my mama out for bringing 3 kids back home and getting left by my daddy. You know, I've watched my granny come talk to me, giving good hugs, kiss on the cheek, I love you, grandson, and go cuss my mama out like a dog. I've watched it. I wouldn't do that to my kids. Like I just told my mama the other day, I'm like, mama, I didn't say you was a bad mama, but some of the stuff you did, I would not do with my kids. There's nothing wrong with that. To her, there's something wrong with that. It's a mental health thing.
Right.
These youngsters, these parents, we got to address that within our community. But overall, I think it's just seeing more people that look like us doing stuff and showing that you can do it without doing the other stuff is what's going to really help Oakland in particular.
I like that. I like that you hit the foundation, though, when you said mental health. Because, honestly, in our community, we have a lot of dark hurt within our generations, even before us, that just transfer. We were handed.
Yes. We was handed mental health
We
issues.
were handed mental health issues. So if we don't have that communication, that open communication in a provider environment for our children to overly communicate,
Look,
there's no way that we can heal the past and the present and the future. And I like what you're doing, because not only you're teaching your good parenting is this. In my perspective, you can correct me if I'm wrong. Because there's no rule book when it comes to parenting.
No, it's the hardest job, but it's the best one.
But when I hear you say that you have an open door policy where your kids can over-communicate to you, you're basically teaching principles that your children will teach their kids. So you're handing principles down to your children that is going to already be in their subconsciousness. They're not even going to be reminded until you're old. Oh, my dad used to teach me the same damn thing. But we also have so much on the inside of us that we have to work through.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And I'm pretty sure. See, here's the thing. This is the beauty of it. You're telling your mom, where I don't want a parent like that. But someone still have to make a sacrifice and say, it stops with me.
Right.
I'm going to take on this sacrifice of learning better, learning different ways, but still not blaming my past.
Not at all.
You know what I mean? Because if we're gonna, if our community is going to start a new slate, and this may take 200 years of healing,
Right.
but the faster we work on it, the faster we heal. But if our community is going to take on a new slate and say, you know what, from this day forward, we're going to work together. We're going to be positive. I'm going to love my family. When I see my brother, I'm going to love him because I love me. In order for us to do that, it's 4 people that we have to forgive. And this is just my belief. One, we have to believe our parents, whether they were right or wrong, whether they're here or gone. We have to forgive them. Then secondly, we have to forgive those that hurt us in any kind of relationships. Boyfriend, girlfriend, ex-wife, ex-husband, we gotta forgive them.
Right.
Whether they were right or wrong.
Right.
Thirdly, we have to forgive anybody that done malice to us, not just a relationship, not just a mom and dad, not just a boyfriend and girlfriend, husband and wife, but now we got to forgive the friends, the teachers, the police, I'm just saying, whoever we have to forgive. And then that fourth, the collective forgiveness. Then that fourth one, we have to forgive ourselves for not doing everything right.
Period.
You know what I mean? Because it's just, you know the talk I'm on right now. You know what I mean? This is a spiritual.
Yes.
It's a spiritual fight. And we have to go within and clear up the flow within. The reason, this is just my belief, the reason why a lot of things are manifesting on the outside the way it is on the outside is because a lot of us are messed up on the inside.
Yes, sir.
And we haven't really done that or continue to live that cycle of doing the work on the inside. And you know what? I can have the hard conversations with my mom because I have hard conversations with myself.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I can tell just by that conversation that you just told your mom that I know, and I just met you.
Mm-hmm.
I know you have hard conversations with yourself.
Yeah,
you know what?
yeah.
I ain't doing things the right way.
Yes, sir.
I need to change some ways about me. And if we don't get back to that, if we don't get to that, we're going to have a hard time connecting the dots in the physical realm.
You got to think, if we're not right, how we gonna be right with it or with anybody else, or how we gonna be able to interact with people right? I just told my son this the other day. I was like, he dealing with some stuff with his son. He got a 1-year-old, and I was like, you gotta do what you gotta do. But I'm like, at the end of the day, son, you gotta be in the right place. There's no way you're gonna be good for your son if you're not in the right space. I had to do that. Like, I'm always consistently working on my space. I believe in therapy. It's nothing wrong with going to therapy. Nothing wrong with it at all. And I don't mean like talking to one of your friends or talking to your wife. No, I mean actually going to sit down and go in therapy and doing work. There's nothing wrong with it. I got a family session on Monday, actually. They come to the house. Great work. But no, something that I'm going back to when we were talking about the parents.
But I like that. I like that you said that you're going to therapy, because I do believe that self-development is like the basic foundation.
Man, look, you got to.
For growth.
You got to. Like, I'm so on the self-reflective stuff. It's like, because I can't be good to anybody else if I'm not good within myself. Mm-hmm. But to the parenting thing, my dad's told me something forever that I live by. He said, take what you like and leave the rest. He's like, I know I'm not perfect. No parent's going to be perfect. Even with me, we think we're doing the best and we're still not perfect.
Right.
Take what you like and leave the rest. Take the good stuff or whatever you choose to take from me as a parent, do that. And what you don't like, you don't have to like. You know what I'm saying? But I try to use mental health therapy and like self-reflection to guide all of my movements, bro, because I wouldn't be where I'm at. And then, of course, the Heavenly Father. I call the Heavenly Father Yahweh. It's on my arm twice. I've been in the teaching forever. Like, I've gone to church. I know about all that. I can have a whole preacher conversation whenever with anybody, whoever. But I just know that as long as I'm living right by what I think Yahweh wants for me to do, that's what I'm doing. You got to think, my whole path was laid out for me.
Come on, Reverend.
I didn't know that I was going to end up selling weed legally.
Come on, Reverend.
You understand what I'm saying?
Talk that talk.
So that's literally like the whole path that I'm on, even just, right where we at. My first dispensary I went to was right around the corner from here on 19th and Telegraph. My grandmother took me there. She came out with a bag. I'm like, what's that, Granny? She's like, I got weed out of there. I'm like, you bought weed from a store? She's like, yeah, this was $99. I said, oh, yeah, I want one of them. The next day, I went and got a cannabis card and started working at different stores just to learn the business. It wasn't about just selling weed. I'm like, wait, you can really sell weed out of a store? I want to do that at some point. Didn't know it was going to lead to this. Didn't know me going to Oakland in 2008 getting laughed at. Oh, you went to a weed school? Why you go to a weed school? I'm like, I think it's going to help me learn how to do weed. All that stuff. Getting snitched on. The equity program only was for people who caught weed cases. Had I never got snitched on, I wouldn't have got the... I can't write that.
Right,
that has to be somebody.
Yeah, because I don't want God to write that for me.
There has to be somebody bigger than me handling that.
Yeah, because God don't write that for me because I don't want to have to go to jail.
Because my thing is, but even with that, let me tell you how stuff works.
That's crazy.
Let me tell you how deep the Heavenly Father goes. So, I get arrested in 2005. When I get arrested, remember I told you I started a job at probation that Monday.
Right.
You can't fight a case working at probation, so you have to get transferred. So I get transferred to Eastmont Mall. Eastmont Mall has a welfare office.
Right, okay.
I start working there. I meet my wife there. Now, mind you, I didn't see my wife. She didn't see me. She knew who I was, but I didn't know who she was. She was always with people, but we never liked each other. We was never on each other's radar. I got transferred to that place, met her. That was 2005, September. I met her in September 2005. We've been together ever since, nonstop, right? So fast forward, maybe 2-3 months into us talking, I go to one of her friends' house. I'm like, man, I've been here before. She's like, oh, what's up, Alfonso? The girl whose house I'm in got a god sister, likes to talk to. Long story short, me and this girl got a kid and I didn't know nothing about.
Huh?
Wait, let me tell you how the creator work. Girl got pregnant in 99. I had no clue. I seen her on the fluke one time, standing on Seminary. She had a belly. I'm like, is that mine? She's like, no. She thought I was a broke nigga. So whoever the baby, in her mind, the baby was by whoever the richest dude she was talking to. So she told me it wasn't my baby. I'm not finna argue with you. Cool.
Sheesh.
Whatever. We fast forward to 05 when I meet my wife, well, soon, end up being my wife, and we go to this house and I realize, hey, yada, yada, yada. She like, you know what? That baby she had that's like 8 now do kind of look like your other son. So I'm like, oh, well, let me test. So I get tested. He mine. I found out I got an 8-year-old because I met my wife, but it gets even funkier.
Oh my!
I'm a diehard dad, right? Diehard dad. Had I known that baby was mine, I would have never met my wife. I wouldn't have my 16-year-old daughter. I wouldn't be in my other kids' life that I've been in their life 16, 17 years now. He wanted me to forego being that kid's dad for 8 years in order to come back to him when he needed me to come back to him. I can't write that, dog. How do you do that? There's got to be somebody that's got a bigger pain. I was hurt. That hurt me. Like, man, I should have been in that kid's life. But had I knew I had a baby with her, I'd have never met my wife. And meeting my wife was the best thing that happened.
Because you're a diehard dad.
Period. Because I would have been.
You would have been right there.
I don't have sex with friends.
Right.
So had I known they was even in cahoots, I wouldn't do that. You know what I'm saying? We talking about this was 99. I met her in 05. They weren't even friends then. There was no way for me to know. So it's cool, but no, it ain't cool. I wanted to be a dad. My son had been out here 8 years without a father, calling somebody else a father.
Oh my God.
You know what I'm saying? So the Heavenly Father wanted me to go through that in order to meet who I met, got with her just to find out I got a son. And he has a son now, a 2-year-old. So I got a grandson by my son didn't know about until he was 8. And I only found that out because I got snitched on.
Ooh.
Who writes that, dog?
Wait, can I say something right quick?
Go ahead.
Because I want to say something to God.
Go ahead.
God, I thank you for not letting that be my story. Because that story is your story.
My story.
That story got me stressed out listening to that.
That's my story.
And the way you accepted, though.
Yeah, what can I do?
Because honestly, and I understand the narrative. If I would have had a kid over here and I known about it, I would have stayed right here.
Yeah.
That man that's a great father right there.
Yeah, no, we wouldn't have ever met.
But you also it's almost like you live in a place where, dang, what can I say? It's something like spiritual I'm looking for, where it's like you don't even judge it. You don't. It's like this is my story.
This is what happened.
This is my journey.
Mm-hmm.
I own every piece of part of it, and I'm gonna deal with it.
Yeah, and I talk to my kids. They all know. Like they even be like, "Man, y'all just meeting." I was like, "It was all for a reason. Everything happens for a reason. You just play your part in how you control that path by what you do and how you live." Because I could have went left. Like they could have transferred me to any office. They transferred me to the office in my hood. I was able to go home at lunch. Like it was great. But they transferred me there and I met her. And then what's even crazier, when I first seen her, I didn't even say nothing to her. She came in there. I'm like, what's she in here? She was fitted. I'm like, oh, she bad. Why is she in here? I'm like, she probably in here going foul child support on her baby daddy or something. And sure enough, that's what happened. And when she goes sit down, she talking to one of my cousins. I call him. I'm like, you know her? He like, yeah, that's such and such best friend, his wife's best friend. He say, what's crazy is we've been actually telling her she should talk to you. I said, well, don't say nothing to her now. Don't say nothing. I'll holler later. Like maybe a week later, she came back in. Now is my opportunity to get her, not even knowing that they have been trying to hook us up. Like you can't make stuff like this.
Rev. Rev, what can you give to people? Because I know I'm joking about God. I thank you for this not being my.
No,
I'm serious too, but joking about it. But it sounds like, just listening to you talk, that we all have our own individual path.
Yes.
What can you tell someone that's on their own, and I want you looking into the camera too.
Yep.
That's on a path where they feel like they're lost. They feel like they may be in a physical jail cell, or they may even be in a mental jail cell. Mm-hmm. What can you say to a person that feels stuck, that feels lost, that made mistakes, mm-hmm. that are a victim, they're a victim of their circumstances, but need a word of hope?
2 things, and it's pretty simple. Get you a higher power. This is kind of like 1A, 1B. Get you a higher power. Pray to that higher power. Ask that higher power to guide you. And the second part, you have to put in the work. So if we're talking about somebody in a bad place, they in jail, they, committing crimes, whatever, you have to be willing to put 300% of time into the good to counteract the bad. Kind of like the way I explain it to my kids is like, doing good is going to take a while, but you're going to have to just do that. If you do it a quick way, let's just say you get it done in a minute, you got that quick gratification. We talked about it earlier, you're good, but I'd rather take the 20 minutes and really lock it in.
Well, how do you work through that, though? Because that kid, though...
Prayer, for me.
Prayer
for me, and finding, like I said, getting that higher power. Therapy can help, but if we're just talking just to that person, like we said, sitting in the cell, thinking about it right now, man, find that higher power. The higher power is everything. Ask specifically for what it is you're trying to do. Be specific. Be intentional with your prayer to your Heavenly Father. Don't just do random. Like, if you really, really want to get back on your feet and really, ask for guidance. Ask Him in His name. In the name of the Son, the Father, Son, the Holy Spirit, whatever you choose to call Him. For me, if it was my prayer, to be in the name of Yahweh, Yahshua Messiah, our Elohim, and Yahweh, our Father. That's how I would pray. You know what I'm saying? And be specific. Be intentional. Ask for what it is you're trying to do, and then do the work that's going to help you achieve that prayer.
That work part is after you prayers. The work part is always the hardest part, because I do believe that we live in a world of knowledge. We know everything, but the hardest thing to do is apply what we know. And a lot of us want change, but most of us, 99.9% of us, don't want to change.
Yep.
Reverend Alfonso, I ain't know you was coming on here to preach, though.
And I didn't either.
I ain't know you was gonna get on here, start preaching to the people, because they gonna have to leave a tithe and offering. And there's one thing about y'all preachers. Now, y'all always had the worst stories. Y'all always was the ones that was out there in them streets.
Definitely.
Doing wrong. And now y'all want to come and tell everybody. No, I'm just joking.
The only difference with me is I don't want no money. You know what I'm saying? I get this game for free. I make them pay me.
Talk that talk.
That's why I'm writing the books and going to get the subject
Product
expert money and stuff like that. That's when they pay me. There's people getting paid $40,000 just to go talk.
Come on, man.
You want to pay me stipend, all that, room card, and give me 40 just to go talk to people about my life? Sign me up. So I don't need to charge the people that look like me
for free game.
Now, if you want to take hours of my time for me to teach you and stuff like that,
then you got to pay for that.
Pay for that.
That's mentorship.
Come on, man. But just to share what I know so you don't have to bump your head, I think I'd be doing a disservice to do otherwise.
Reverend Alfonso. Rev, when we leave here, Rev, and
it's on Sunday?
Right, and it's on Sunday.
I didn't think about that.
Rev,
I don't know what's going to air, but
Rev. So look, before we get out of here.
Yes, sir.
What will you like your legacy to be, and what would you like to be known for?
Honestly and truthfully, that first line of my bio, I'm a child of Yahweh. I'm a husband, a proud dad, and a hustler. That's just, those are the things that are important to me, and not in no certain order, but in a certain order. The Heavenly Father comes first. My wife comes second. They're my kids.
Come on, man.
So.
Oh, Rev. What can they find you at, Rev? What church? What Instagram church?
I'm at Tucky Blunt on everything. At Tucky Blunt, TUCKY, everywhere. BLUNT, everywhere. That's it.
Reverend Alfonso Tucky Blunt. At the end of the day, man, a great conversation, man.
If you like, man, I definitely
appreciate it. Great meeting you, man, and I'm looking forward to your success. Sincerely.
Thank you.
If you have any products that you want to promote, reach out to me.
Yes, sir.
You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
We're talking about collaboration. We're gonna make some stuff work.
Dot connecting is fun.
You know what I mean?
I just if you're a good person and you're a good person, y'all should know each other. It's
simple as that.
Just what it is. Now, if money comes out of it and it's something that can benefit me, then include me in it.
Right.
But if it don't, I'm one of them kind of people. Y'all can talk without me. Y'all good. Do y'all thing. Because for me, it's the trust. If y'all make money back doing, y'all know y'all was supposed to count me in.
That's on you.
That's on y'all.
You know, you got to live with that karma.
You didn't do that. So
you the first reverend I liked in a long time, man. man, give me a five. Rev. I'm coming in your shirt.
That's just the real. Like,
I appreciate you, big dog.
Connect is hard though, blood.
Yeah, it is.
Hard. Like
that's how we got each other though.
And be like, oh, this person would be good for this. But I've had to kind of like scale back on some of that because it's not, I don't do it for reciprocation, to get it back. But I see that you just taking all the hook and you're not doing it. Like, no. But it's hard when you're a good person like that and want to connect people. It's hard to not. Like, I be seeing stuff sometimes like, oh, I want, just wait, Tucky, just wait. But that's how I am.
Maybe I'm wrong. I'm very specific of when I connect the dots because character means everything.
Same here.
Like morals and standards, accountability, look in your eyes, shake your hand, being able to apologize when you do all of that's because, and honestly, man, I'm in a space where I do want to win. I want to see others win. But if we ain't aligning with our values, I want you to win still.
Yeah, but we can't win together.
We can't win together though. But that don't make us enemies either.
Not at all. That's something else. That's a whole nother pod for a whole nother day. We do not have to agree and can still be friends.
Right.
Like I grew up where we could fight and again be friends right after the fight. Some of my best homies, we done had to get them up. Like,
Rev, we getting out here, Rev. Rev, because you want to know why? Y'all preachers like to keep talking. I'm done in 5 minutes. You want to keep giving the word, and the church ain't never going to be over. This church don't last longer than an hour. You're going to get up out of here today. At the end of the day, thank y'all for checking in with Big Dog Talk Podcast. Listen, you can follow us on Big Dog Talk _podcast on IG, YouTube, Big Dog Talk Podcast, TikTok, Big Dog Talk Podcast. We got to get out of here because Rev going to keep church going, and we done with that. Reverend Alfonso, you're not getting the last words. You already said it. No problem. All right.